Hey, what is up, guys? Gangsta Driller here. So today we are going to be working on a ring. Now I know this looks similar to the one ring that we had to take back to that one store, but this is not the same store. Let's see, size 13, needed by 411.25, and I think it's only 4.6 or 4.7 time I'm filming this, so we got plenty of time to get this back. They're gonna get it back way before the 411. Let's see, they want it sized to a 13. Let's go ahead and cut this tag off so we can get an accurate size here. Where's my cutters? Where'd the cutters go? No, we'll use these. Look, guys, you guys can get this ring for $4 for $4.99. See, we just cut that out right there. $4.99. That's a deal, man. That's a deal. All right. Going to a 13. Let's see what size this thing is currently. It's 12. All right, so we're going one size up. We're gonna have to add some gold to this to make it bigger. So if you got a saw, use your saw. If you got cutters, cut them if you got them. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Then we're going to open her up to, we're going to go a little bit past 13 because we want it to open up enough to where the piece that we put in there doesn't have too much strain on it. You know what I mean? All right, and we want to be about a quarter size smaller than a 13. We don't want to put a piece right at 13 because by the time we clean her up and file it and polish it, it'll be too big. So you always want to be about a quarter size smaller when you're measuring. Let me go ahead and file these sides real quick, and then we'll see about finding us a piece to put in there. Okay. Now I cut it a little bit off to the side, because being this is a 13, I know it's been sized before, and usually if you just go off to the side a little bit instead of dead center, you're usually going to be okay. Now you can heat the ring up and look for the line if it's been sized before. I find that's not always foolproof. You can find the line and still end up having a piece blow out on you, so I find I just, it's not even worth the time and effort to do that. You can heat it up and look for the line to see where it's been sized or welded before, but I find it doesn't really help that much. But that is just my personal preference. That's not going to be everybody's take on it. I'm just trying to look for some tweezers here. Tweezers, where'd you go? There you are. Let's see about finding us a piece that will work here. You know, it's kind of crazy. I haven't had to make sizing stock in a while, because usually I have pieces from other rings that just work. But occasionally, at some point, I know I'm going to have to make some sizing stock. Now if you have like a casting machine or something like that, you could make different sizes all at one time, but a lot of people starting out aren't going to have that equipment, so you can make sizing stock at your desk if you want. That's kind of what I do. I just make it as I go, so this way I don't waste any gold if I don't have to, you know. Let's see, let's measure. Right, let's try to measure that. Let's grab our ring sizer thingy here. Now what I like to do is put a piece there and then use the ring sizer thing that I'm using to size down, and I'll try to mark the piece where I need to cut it. And you see you got a little line right there. Right there. Okay, we're gonna cut it. All right. Now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and we're going to file these sides, and then we're going to cut a groove or a notch into the piece to help hold it in there. Then we're going to turn it sideways and cut a little groove into it. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And we're going to cut a little groove into it. This kind of helps the piece kind of sit in place, because otherwise it doesn't really sit in the ring very well if you don't have some way to kind of help hold it in there. Which you veteran guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You gotta close that up a little bit. Perfect. All right, got our piece sitting in there. So let's go ahead and put this stuff up so we don't lose it. Pour all that back in there. And we're going to go ahead and dip the whole ring in the boric acid denatured alcohol mixture. And we're going to switch to a 5-tip. We got a 4 on here right now. There's our 5. Switch to a 5-tip, fire our torch up, and light her up. Let that burn off. Now we know that there's probably, let me zoom you, hold on, let me cut my pieces and then I'll zoom you guys in and explain this. We're going to cut ourselves 2 pieces of solder here. Okay. Let's go ahead and put some flux on there as well. All right, now, you know, we cut a little bit off to the side of the ring. So we know there's probably a piece in here from where it's been sized before. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna weld the farthest side away from the pieces first, and then we'll do the right side where the piece may be. Now we may still blow a piece out, we don't know. Like I said, you can heat it up beforehand and look for the line where it was welded before, but I find that that's not always foolproof, because sometimes you can cut it there and cut away from it and then it still blow out on you. I've had that happen many a times. So we're going to heat it up, and we're going to try to get the farthest side welded first, or partially welded. Alright, we got that side partially welded. I haven't tried to pull it all the way through. But now that we got that side kind of secure, we can go ahead and weld the other side of that piece. Okay, that side's pulled through. Let's finish pulling this side through. All right. Let me zoom you guys back out. We got diamonds, so we don't have any precious gemstones, so we're not worried about them stones shattering if we dip it in water. Alright, let's take a look at what we got here. So we're pulled through on the inside there, and we're pulled through there. Alright, let's see what our size is looking like right at the moment. So we're about a quarter size off, which is where we want to be. Okay, so what we're going to do is file this inside down real quick. Alright, let's see where we're sitting at here. We are almost to a 13. I'm going to take our ball peen hammer here for a second. So 13. And close to a 13. That's a 13. And we're right at a 13. All right, so $13. We're not going to do any more tapping because we got some filing we still got to do. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. File these sides down a little bit. We're just getting the bulk of the sides down, and then we'll get it with a file. Just getting the bulk of it. Alright, now let's get this backside file down a little bit for us. Alright, now let's go ahead and take our metal file here. And we want to blend our piece that we put in there with the rest of the shank. And remember, you don't have to push hard. Just very lightly. Just easy strokes and in one direction. You don't want to go back and forth on it. Get that blended in pretty good. Alright, let's work on the other side now. So yeah, if you suspect that a ring has been sized, it's always good to, if you want to try to look for the line, you can, but it's always better to err on the side of caution and go ahead and cut it and put your piece in a little bit off to the side, because it most likely got sized right at the bottom. And then you'll be, usually 9 times out of 10, you'll be far enough away from the piece that you won't have to worry about it blowing out on you. We got to switch wheels real quick here. Need to file that inside down just a tad bit more. We got the sides pretty even. Alright, let's go ahead and hold on, I gotta adjust you guys here. We need to run the file over the top here a little bit. Kind of smooth out these corners a little bit here. Then run our file across the top. We want to blend in our piece with the ring. We don't want like any crazy humps or anything like that. That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and smooth out the inside now. Go ahead and smooth the inside of the ring out with our silicone wheel. Put our wedge back in the desk there. So this thing's got some pretty deep gashes in it. Hold on, guys. I gotta adjust you guys just a little bit here. Alright, that ain't working out either. I don't know what the hell's going on with this camera strap I got going on here. Let's try this again. Dang, what is up with this thing? Sorry guys, I know there's a lot of moving around. It's a nice looking ring, pretty solid. Alright guys, I think we got the inside pretty well done, smoothed out anyways. Let's go ahead and swap to our other silicone wheel so we can hit the back side and the sides of the ring. Got some pretty deep gashes over here on the side. Alright guys, let's go ahead and let me adjust you guys here a little bit. Oh, hold on, I gotta stand up. My leg's trying to fall asleep on me. Holy shit. Alright. So we got the back side smoothed out. Let's go ahead and work on the sides now. Somebody definitely got big fingers like I do. That's about what I wear, like a 12, 13. Alright, we got that side done. Let's go ahead and do the other side. Alright guys, I think we're ready to go get this thing polished up. Got the sides all smoothed out, we got our piece blended in there. Can't tell where we put it in at. Let's check our size again. 13 on the money, flip it over. 13 on the money, guys. Alright, I'm gonna go drop this into ultrasound and we'll come back and polish her up, and we'll come back and look at the finished product, guys. Be right back. Alright guys, we are back with that ring. So you can see we got it nice, clean, and polished. Got it sized to a 13 from a 12. Can't even tell where we put the piece in at. Got it looking good, guys. If I keep my fingerprints off of it, that'd be even better. But at any rate, guys, this is the Gangster Jeweler. I appreciate you guys tuning in. This was a fairly simple sizing. We only had to go up one size. We had to add a little bit of gold to it. But this is the Gangster Jeweler. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate my loyal subscribers. If you'd like for me to do your repairs, you can visit my Etsy shop, which I had a link for that down in the description. And if you're in the Jacksonville area and you're a business that'd like me to start doing your repairs, I'll have an email link down in the description. You can shoot me an email. And then also I have a Kick live stream reaction channel, or reaction stream, and a Twitch live reaction stream. I had a link for that down in the description. But they're more of like reaction channels. They're not jewelry related per se. But I'll have the link for those down in the description. Also, if you'd like to leave a tip or donation, you can. I'll have the link for that down in the description, although it's not required. I just appreciate you guys watching. And also, if you're in the Jacksonville area, I highly recommend Money Miser on Blanding Boulevard for your jewelry. And if not, if you're out of state, not in Florida or Jacksonville, I highly recommend Stellar Jewelry, which I have the link for that down in the description as well. But this is Gangster Jeweler, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. Shout out to Alex and all my other loyal subscribers. I remember there's a Lord something other I see in the comments occasionally, and I try to reply to all of them if I can. But this is Gangster Jeweler, guys. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, y'all.